Hey everybody, it's Marcy, and want to work some more on my little purse size 4x6 file folder folio journal. Want to try to get all 4 of these panels done today, at least the beginnings of them done. So first thing I'm gonna do is I've got a 6x6 piece of paper, and I'm going to cut it to 3 3/4 by 6. So 6 inches tall by, is that right? Yeah, is that what I want? Yes, it is. Sorry. I was looking at my notes, but then I started questioning myself. Okay, so 3 3/4 by 6. So we're going to cut there, save that piece. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make little corner tucks. So I'm going to take and put my paper back in my trimmer. Be sure my corners are lined up at the cutting point. And I'm going to slice. All right, so simple enough. So one will go here. And yes, I know it's too large, but I'm going to take care of that. And the other one I will flip over, and it will have the plaid design on this side. So the next thing I want is my scoreboard. And I'm actually, instead of just gluing these down, now if you don't want to do this, you just make yours a little smaller so that you can just glue them down. And I'm turning my scoreboard sideways because it's easier for me to see. But I'm going to put my square corners up against, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch there. And then I'm going to turn it the other way again, so I've got my square corners up in the corner, and score 1/2 inch there. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So my 1/2 inch score there, and then I'm going to flip it, and 1/2 inch score across the bottom. All right. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want these corner tucks to have a little bit of a gusset so that the user of the journal can more easily tuck stuff in and out of the corner tucks. And sometimes I don't worry about it, but in this case, because this is a purse-sized journal, what I imagine is people sort of using it as a keeper. You know, might have some receipts that want to be tucked in there, notes, whatever. Maybe they're going shopping for, I don't know, junk journal supplies, and they've got just a little swatch of fabric or a little swatch of something that they want to keep safe while that they can take to the store for shopping. Okay, and then I'm going to, sorry, let me go back because I was busy yapping, but I didn't tell you what I was actually doing. Okay, that one goes that way. That one will go that way. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish my edges. And fold it back And I'm going to cut off the excess. I'm just going right up against the edge there. And I know you could see that, but... And then here, where I've got this excess here, I'm going to trim that off flush with the edge. So there we go. Now we have nice clean corner tucks. And then because I rounded the outside edges of these pages, I'm also going to clean my corner rounder out. And I'm going to attempt, I was able to do this earlier, I was able to do it early. I may not be able to round these. I was able to earlier with, oh, it'll be all right, even if I can't. Okay. So that'll go there, and that'll go there. So even though I cut my page size is, I believe, 3 inches. But because I was making the little gusseted portion, I needed to have 3 3/4 inches so that it would go in properly. All right. So just that simple. We've got the 2 corner pockets. So I'm gonna pause the video so I can ink these up, and then I will glue them on, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I got one of my corner tucks glued in, but when I paused the video, what I realized was the reason I couldn't get my corner punch to work is because what I forgot to tell you was I'm mitering the corners on these tuck spots. So there. And it just gets rid of the bulk in the corner. And now my corner punch works just fine. Of course, it's going through half the amount of paper. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one glued down, and then we'll move on to the next panel. I don't know what my problem is lately, but I have it figured out in my head before I turn the camera on. And then I just lose all of my thoughts. I swear I'm going to blame it on being gone and not having videoed anything for almost a month. Wonder how long I'll be able to milk that one. Okay. Oh, straighten that back up a little bit. All right, and I'm going to clip this for just a second. Just to be sure it gets glued right at those small pieces. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to make a belly band. And I think I'm going to put it on this panel. I think is that what I decided, or did I decide to put it on this? I think I actually decided to put it on this panel. Okay, so again, I've got my 6x6 paper, and mine is double-sided. And for this, I'm going to be using 4 pieces of 2 from each side. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut my paper to 2.5 by 6, and I'm going to cut 2 of those. And I'll save that little 1-inch strip for now. Okay, then I want a no, do it that way. A 2-inch piece for my first one. And then on the flip side, I want a, how much do I want? I want a 2¼ inch piece. And then that will go like that. And then I need another 2¼ of the candy cane side to go there. And another 2¼ of the diagonal stripes. Okay. Oh, sorry, that was my scoreboard sliding down. Now I'm going to pull my little mat out so that I can have a place to line this up. So I'm going to start with my 2¼ inch piece. I want my belly band to be 5 3/4 inches tall. So I'm going to line this stripe piece up on the 5 3/4. And I'm going to put glue Okay, let me think for a second. 5 3/4. Okay, and I'm coming down and I want an inch, so 4 3/4 inch. Okay. So I'm going to put glue half an inch on both sides of this and across the bottom. Basically what I'm making is belly band pockets. So now that's there. So now I'm going to grab my 2 1/4 inch piece of candy cane and 5 3/4. I need to go 4 line it up at 4 1/2. That does not look right. That does not look right at all. Let me get my thoughts together. It's easier when I start from the bottom, but that makes it more difficult to glue it down. So 2, 2, 3 1/4, 2, 4.5 to 5 3/4. Well, I guess it was right. Okay. I don't know why it didn't look right to me, but it didn't. So, now I'm going to put the glue back on there. So forget my questioning myself. Okay. So I've got it lined up at 5 3/4. So glue on from 4.5 to 3.5. So glue on the bottom inch and across the bottom. Then my candy canes lined up at the 4.5 inch mark. Let's try to get them straight. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to my 2 1/4 inch stripes, and that's 4.5. So 3.5, 3 1/4. So again, the last inch. So from 3 1/4 to 2 1/4. And across the bottom. Then put my candy canes down, or my stripes, I mean. And then my 2 inch piece, when I put it down, then that will give me, what that does is that leaves 1 1/4 inch showing of each of those, and then the bottom piece has 2 inches showing. So again, on this, I'm going to mark, or glue, I'm sorry, glue from the 2 inch mark down to the bottom and across the bottom here. Now what that means is this one, well actually all of them, they're going to be shallow pockets. They're going to be 1 inch pockets, so small ephemera will go into them. Okay. Then what we have is, when it sits on the page, I've got a wide belly band with all of these pockets. Now, I'm going to take this to my sewing machine before I glue it down, and I am just going to run straight stitching up both sides. So let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay, ready for the last panel. So again, I've got a 6x6 sheet of paper, and this time I'm going to cut it in half at 3 inches. Then I'm going to take I'm going to take one and I'm going to cut it at 2 1/4. And Is that right? No. Well, yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Okay. I'm actually going to have that on the stripe side, though. And then 2 1/4. Okay, then for the flower side, I'm going to cut it down to 2 1/2 and 1 3/4. And another one at 1 3/4. All right. And what I'm actually making here is a couple of stacked double pockets. So I'm going to take these two and I'm going to pull out my little 1-inch hole punch. And I'm going to mark, they are 3 inches wide. So I'm going to mark at 1 1/2. And I'm just going to put my little thumb hole. And if I do both of the pages at the same time, then I know they'll be lined up, assuming I get them glued down, lined up. Okay, so we've got that and that. Now, I'm trying to figure out what direction I want my flowers. I'm going to take these two and mark them in the center, and they are 2 1/2, so I'm going to mark them at 1 1/4. And put little bitty thumb holes in these as well. All right. So then I'm going to quickly ink around my edges. Okay, quick story. My husband, I'm recording this on the weekend, and my husband is in the bedroom watching Moulin Rouge, and he's bawling like a baby. He was just in here to showing me how he was crying. He has a love-hate relationship with that movie. Okay. Then I'm going to glue the small pocket on top of the larger pocket. And I know this isn't like exciting flips or anything like I like to do in my folio journals, but I'm so focused on trying to keep it relatively flat that I didn't make actual spines in my side flaps, which limits me on what I can put down. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on this one. And then what I will do is, now I'm not actually going to glue my pockets down yet because I'm going to stitch around them just to add a little pizzazz to them. But then I will stack them like so. And I'm trying to be sure. Doesn't matter if I have a lot of room between the top of this pocket and the bottom of this one, because I can put something in there that's taller, and it's okay if it sticks over up like that. But I wanted to leave enough room in the top so that we've got an inch or so that can stick out here without going over the edge of the journal. Again, thinking that because it might be in a purse, I'm not going to want a lot of things hanging out. So then those will get glued down just like so, and that will give you 1, 2, 3, 4 more pockets. So I know we've got lots of pockets, but that's what I'm going to do with that. Then the only other thing left for me to do is make my journal to go into the center. And as I said, my journal will be 4 by 6. And normally on these folios, I make it traveler style so that I don't actually bind the journal into it. But because this is a purse journal, I am actually going to bind the journal into the spine. I'm not going to do that on camera. You all already know how to bind a journal. I'm not going to have a lot of, excuse me, well, I probably won't have actually any true ephemera in the journal itself. It will primarily be writing space, memory keeping space, whatever the user wants to use it for. Note taking, if they keep this in their purse. And then I will fill all of my pockets with ephemera goodies that the user might want to use either in their journal or use independently. All of that will be done off camera. The next time you see this will be when I do the flip through. Now, I want to give you my honest feeling about this. This particular one, I'm going to keep as kind of a prototype for myself. I like the idea. I like the idea of not having the additional spine here, or not having an, normally when I do this, I keep like a 1/4 inch spine here and a 1/4 inch spine here. But because it's a purse journal, I didn't want to do that. And I'm fine with that for this particular setup. But I think I'm not happy with my background papers, I think is really what my problem is. So this one I'm just going to kind of keep as a prototype for myself. And then I'll be doing another one to actually give to someone. But I am going to finish it out, and I'm going to let you guys see the finished product. Now, the other thing I want to let you know, this will air on Tuesday. I won't have a video on Wednesday, but I should be back Thursday and Friday. And I think for the time being, since apparently my brain is still somewhat scattered and stuff. Oh, and I just learned my son's going to be coming down for a visit next month, and I'm still talking to my mom most days, which can be, I love talking with my mom, don't get me wrong, but it's still a bit emotionally tenuous. So I think that's part of the reason that even though I'm back and I'm crafting, I seem to kind of be all over the place. But Thursday, I'm going to show you a flip through, and I'm going to have what I think is an exciting announcement, and I hope you will think so too. So please check back on Thursday, and until then, I wish you all a wonderfully happy, crafty day, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.